Joining us from Moscow, Russia, Aleksandr Dugin, author, researcher, launched much of the nationalist or sovereignty movements in Russia. Just an absolute rock star in his own country, demonized and misrepresented here, obviously, in the United States. But undoubtedly, Dr. Aleksandr Dugin is one of the leading people when it comes to rebirth in Russia and rediscovering the greatness of Russia and humanity itself and creating a pro-human system.
Thank you, Alex, for your kind presentation. I would express my ideas concerning what is going on in the world with new agenda for United States with Mr. Trump that I support with all my heart, and so what is going to happen with Russia and with Mr. President that I as well support with all my heart. And I think you have put the things very clearly, dear Alex, because you have said exactly the truth about my relations with Putin. We defend the same position, we share the same concern, so we are loving our people, and I am making that on the level of ideas. And Mr. Putin is doing the same acts and steps in the great politics, but there is quite a correspondence between that. And I agree, because when I'm seeing Infowars and when I'm hearing what Alex Jones says, it is not, it is the same agenda. I hope that Trump, Mr. Trump, Mr. President Trump, share as well. And that means the kind, not coincidence, that meant the unity of the same position, the sharing of the same values, and the same ideas. So that is quite clear. And we are blamed not because we are bad or pretend to be extremists. It is all lie. Because, for example, in my book, False Political Theory, I'm criticizing three political theories. All three. I'm against liberalism, against globalism. It goes first. I'm against communism, and I was always, because I was dissident in the Soviet time, because I never share the conventions of communism. I'm traditionalist, I am Christian, and I didn't accept this kind of values. I'm anti-communist, but at the same time, I'm anti-Nazi, anti-Nazi, anti-fascist, because I didn't share nor racism, nor brutal corporative state in the sense of statism. So, and I'm always affirming the same thing. I belong to the fourth political theory. And when they try to present myself as a kind of extremist or communist or fascist, it is absolute lie. My introduction was important because I would like to stress that I am simply realist, as well as you, Alex, as well as Mr. Trump and Mr. Putin. First of all, realism. Realism doesn't mean nationalism. Realism doesn't mean some ideology. Realism, it is considering the sovereignty of the people, of the nation as the highest value. And that is completely anti-globalist agenda. Absolutely. And what is important in this sovereignty? Sovereignty, national sovereignty, state sovereignty, is the form to defend identities. The identities can be different. They could coincide or not coincide, but that doesn't mean necessarily the war or the conflict. We could accept the differences in a positive way. Americans and Russians are different. Europeans and Americans and Russians are different. The people of the other countries, absolutely. And globalists, they try to make a kind of pacifist dream, killing the country, killing differences. We need to affirm our identities, and that is the way to understand each other. To understand, that is position of Putin as well. He is not imperialist. He is not fanatic. He has no idea to invade no country. And I think that now we are in the situation where there is not anymore a kind of hostility between our countries. I would say I was anti-Americanist, anti-American during the government of Obama, of Bush, not because I don't like Americans. I was in America once, in Washington, and I like America. I love America, but I hate the globalist agenda. Yes, so now we understand, everybody in Russia, now we understand that America was hijacked by a globalist sect, and Trump is restoring American dignity, and we stop immediately to hate America, immediately, because that wasn't America that we hated before. It was globalist elite, and now we see that half and more, the majority of American population, as well as against this globalist sect. And that makes globalism the problem of each country, each people. We are as well under attack of globalists, as well as you. And we need to be united, concerning our differences. And I think that the real multipolarity could lead to cooperation, to the friendship between different countries and different people. But we need to fight our common enemy. And before we had a deal, we have deal with Mr. Soros that tried to overthrow our government, tried to create a color revolution in our country. So my idea is that you are absolutely right. Now you American, you are facing the same threat with Soros and the same NGO. So what was American, so-called American attack against us? Now you are dealing with the same threat in your country. And I agree absolutely with you that Russia, we need to understand that Russia is no more communist. We couldn't apply the old Cold War cliche, old Cold War models to understanding a new situation. Russia is traditional Christian country as well as America is. And radical Islam, supported by globalists, is our common enemy. And I think that now what is important in Russia, that we are hearing the voice of the people who are dying for our freedom, of the military men, of the people who defend our security. And I think that is very important for globalists. They met generals, met militaries, and so on. But for us, they are very high appreciated persons, and I think that is very important to hear what the people of army says, and because we are losing our guys fighting against radical Islam.
Here is the leading Democrat saying she wants to know what Putin has on Trump. This is just ridiculous. Here it is.
But let me just go back to the first part of the senator's statement. I want to know what the Russians have on Donald Trump. I think we have to have that investigation by the FBI into his financial, personal, and political connections to Russia. Okay. And we want to see his tax returns so we can have truth in the relationship between Putin, whom he admires.
But I want to go back to the issue of Democrats.
We also have one of the other top Democrats, Maxine Waters, saying Putin has invaded Korea, and Trump is helping him. So. Here she is.
Is responsible for supplying the bombs that killed innocent children and families in Aleppo. And the fact that he is wrapping his arms around Putin while Putin is continuing to advance into Korea. I think that he is leading himself into that kind of position where folks will begin to ask, what are we going to do? And the answer is going to be eventually.
Yeah, no, overthrow the president. So there's everywhere saying kill Trump. They're all over the newspapers. And let's be clear.
Yes, exactly. I think that we need to a little bit to make our strategy educational one. Because if we only with very incompetent people, with very stupid audience, the globalist thesis, the globalist speeches could reach their goal. And now Americans have shown that they are not such idiots as globalists think they are. And Americans have chosen what they wanted, what they think to be real response to their problems. And now globalists are furious. Yes, I agree once more absolutely with you that now we need to think about the future. First of all, globalists, they remind me of the black periods of my own history, of Soviet history. The lie is a Stalinist type. It is communist, Stalinist type of lie. It is completely, they try to impose their understanding of the things. They ignore the position of the other. And our fight together for the future world should be based on this defense and affirmation of identity, cultural, religious, spiritual. And we Russians, we want nothing more. We don't want occupy, invade anybody. We need to secure our borders. We need to create our country safe, morally safe. And that's all. That's all. But we are under constant attack. We are not any more communist. We have overstrong communists. We are trying to create Christian, normal Russian society, accepting and respecting the minorities. And we are demonized precisely because it works, because we could stand the blows from globalists. And now America is a little bit in the same situation. And when they say, globalists, they say that Putin has helped Trump, is lie in the way they try to expose that about all this stupid histories about the hackers and so on and so on. But Putin really has helped Trump, showing the example how to defend the realist values. Absolutely. And I think now the situation is a little bit changed. Very interesting. We're living in an important moment of the human history. Now the initiative to change the world is once more in the hands of Americans, in the hands of Trump. Russia has made a kind of introduction to the change of world order in order to create multipolarity. But now everything all depends on the United States of America, on President Trump, because now he is in a position, he is capable to save the world and people of the world from globalism. And he has begun this real spiritual fight. It is not only political fight, it is not only technical or material fight, it is spiritual fight. It is a kind of, and now America is a kind of leader in this war. After Brexit and after Trump presidential election, that is a turning point of the history. I think now the initiative has passed to you, and now you need to make all the efforts, because you are in the best situation that you are the first power in the world, and now we We are very proud about that. Yesterday, in Obama's time, in the possible Clinton perspective, that was a doom for us that you are first, and now it is hope for us that we are first power in the world. And I think you need to concentrate on the vision of the future, because in America there are so many examples of the real greatness before this globalist turn in the last decade.
What are some of the best websites for people to visit of yours?
I think maybe 4pt.com. It is Fourth Political Theory. There are many texts in English, or catechon.com, where we are publishing our English text. As well in America, they have published some of my books concerning Fourth Political Theory, the book on Heidegger, and the book of Putin's geopolitics. And there are many other books that now are translated. I suggest to people to try to search something in order to understand better my ideas. And when they read my books, maybe they will oppose some points or debate some points. But what is important, we need to think differently. We need to try to open new perspectives to conservative understanding. The conservatism is a kind of life. It is not repetition of the same truths from the past. Yes, exactly. But the roots of the tree are always growing as well. So tradition is changing as well. And conservative demands a kind of imagination, a kind of view for the future. Absolutely. You are quite right. The cancer is the right name for globalization. They try to repeat the same model, the same gender politics, the same hyper-individualistic attitudes toward human nature. And they destroy the differences. They destroy the richness of the human life, of the human heart. The swamp, it appears to be a kind of word used only for the electoral campaign in the United States. But the sense, the meaning of this new political concept is much deeper. And it is quite right word, swamp, because the swamp is the same as globalist system. It is anti-national that tries to destroy, to penetrate any country. It could operate only in secret. They try to impose their agenda, notwithstanding their acceptance or rejection of the people, of the societies. The swamp is absolutely anti-democratic. It is anti-people. And now the swamp has found the world to attack, accuse us. They call us populists. So now they understand that they could not use anymore the term as fascist or communist, because that is too ridiculous after all this repetition during the Trump's campaign. And now they have found the word populism, and they accuse us to be populists.
Well, we are.
Is against populism. But the populist is the man, the person who defends his own.
Exactly.
Now their nature is clear. When they begin to call us populists, to accuse us to be populists, they show their real nature. They hate people. They are completely anti-democratic. They are against Americans, Russians, against Israel or Jews, because they try to destroy any sovereign country. That is not Russian invention, idea of Atlanticism and Eurasianism. It is Britain, a concept of Mr.
Francis Bacon.
Mackinder, Spigman, an American tradition of geopolitics, and they made identification between Western society as Atlantist liberal society and Eastern society as a society that is based on the collective values. So that was more or less so. But at the same time, it is geopolitics, and when the West act with such concept, we are obliged to counterpose, to oppose to that Atlanticist concept and this imperialism or colonialism of the West, our Eurasian response. But now we are going to the new stage of geopolitics. Now, real terms of opposition in geopolitics are the geopolitics of this war against geopolitics of the people. And we need to revise a little bit this geopolitical vision because it is completely authentic. It is that fits absolutely when we're dealing with globalist agenda. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Britain vision of the world was the root and roots of globalization. And United States of America, they opposed to this Britain domination. They opposed. You have opposed. Absolutely, and that is why we were friends with America, because we opposed this globalist agenda and we affirmed the liberty, the freedom for each society to construct, to create, to build their own civilization. I think that is difficult to revise historical aspect, but what is important that after Second World War, there began a Cold War based on this geopolitical attitude, and United States of America, that was a kind of special power, a very, very special power that served very much for the balance of the world. They began to turn into the new instrument of globalism. Absolutely, you are completely right. And what is important with Trump? The Trump now is changing this course, this direction of last 100 years of American Atlanticist, British imperialist tradition. There were very good periods in the last century for America, but America, as said Buchanan, America has won the world, but has lost itself, and that is very tragic. So America stopped to be real America and became instrument for globalist international. Absolutely. You're completely right. And I think now that the most important mission in the global sense now is in the hands of Donald Trump, because he has changed already the direction of. Yes, but I think that Trump is completely wrong to consider Trump to be a kind of pro-Russian or pro-Putin. It is not so. He is pro-American. He is a patriot. He is working only for the interest for his own country, for your country. And that is why he is very close to Putin, because Putin makes exactly the same. Absolutely. And at the same time, I think that for Trump and for Putin, our national interests are first, more important than anything else. And that is why realists with realists could agree. For example, there are so many things that divided Russia and Turkey, and we were on the edge of the new war, and globalists tried to involve us in this war. And when I have discovered that with my Turkish friend and Russian friends, we tried to stop this. So I think that globalists now, they have changed their pole. Before they were in the United States, now they are more in Europe. And I think that now French elections with Marine Le Pen and beyond, I agree that in American tradition, to have Arabs represents a kind of real dignity of the man. So I'm supporting this tradition, a very good tradition, very democratic tradition.
Sure, free people are armed. So what about Russia?
Yes, you could defend not only your dignity, your family, your tradition, your religion, but as well you could defend democracy, and that is very important. That is why globalists are against this. They try to unarm American people, but we have different understanding of identity. It is not in our tradition to have arms. Much more in our tradition to have a powerful state with spiritual leader defending traditional values. It is our arm is a little bit different, and I think that in Russia, the real success of Putin is precisely reside in the fact that he loves his own people. He loves Russia. I think that now the relations are already much better already, and we feel that anti-Americanism has vanished in our country, and that is very important because Putin hears what the people think, and he understands that. And in our relations now, from Russian part, there is the end of anti-Americanism that was very, very high. And I think our leaders could make the world, the humanity great again.
Sure, let's be clear. Russia could use this, hey, outsiders are against us, as a way to control people, but Russia's been very nice about seeing Trump's position and trying to make good relations. Aleksandr, thank you so much for the time. Hope you'll come back again soon. I'll come back on your show anytime you'd like. Thank you so much, and have a great week.
Best wishes to all American friends.
All right, absolutely. America first, Russia first, nations for nations, nations for their people. A revolutionary idea instead of globalist enslavement. We'll be back.
Thank you.